All right, we'll just talk to my friends here, PNW and Eric L, and yeah, you guys are good enough for me. Uh, yeah, he's getting more intense. There's an election coming up, Eric L. So whenever that happens, everything gets more intense. It is what it is. So you'll see, you'll get used to it. You'll know. I mean, you already know. You know the deal. You know the deal. Anyway, welcome to the Doom Stream. We're going to talk about what I think we're getting into hyperinflation, folks. I think we're starting to see it. A couple years ago, I said hyped up inflation and then hyper, and I think hyperinflation is coming. I think we're pretty close. Not Hudson, but my brother. I just responded to your post on the tube about the old yeller. The technique they got them all, man. They got a fleet of people back there thinking and doing whatever they can. But anyway, yeah, the hyperinflation I think is going to start to rear its ugly head. I do, and I'm going to tell you why. So if you're new here, of course, hit the like button to do all that. So let me explain kind of what's going on with the channels. As Hudson Valley and any other creator will tell you, they switch things up and they make it so basically no matter what you do, they to make any kind of a compensation for your time and effort here, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. Um, they do things, okay? Old Yeller is one of them, other stuff. So you have to switch. You have to switch it up. You got to be nimble. Well, I decided with the crisis report that I want to go and do two 20 minuters, 15 20 minuters, because it's just easier. Do one in the morning and one in the night. Okay. And it's just easier on people. People can't devote a full 45 minutes. I can't devote a full 45 minutes. 20 minutes, you can get 15, 20 minutes out of me on a video. Even I look at videos, I'm like, holy crap, 62 minutes, I can't do that. So we're gonna start and do probably 8:30 like I used to do with the Prepper News, and then I'm gonna try and get it around 8:30 in the evening time with a live stream there. I had to switch it up a little bit tonight because of Magic being on. I do mod for him. I have not been able to get back to him, but in the last couple days, I've had some openings. I even posted something on to Rumble today. It's been 6 weeks there. I'm going to start to do more there as well. So things are going, and we're just going to kind of guerrilla style it, do it, but it'll have a bit of a schedule. So crisis report will be on the 8th, okay? 8:30 a.m. and then hopefully an 8:30 p.m. And then I would like to do a 9:30 or a 9 or something jank stream for about 30 minutes. 30 minutes is about what I can get away with. So anyway, so that's the deal right there. I was doing the jank stream because the jank stream had opened up a riff in time, and I was beating Borg at some numbers and stuff. That's why you look at it, actually had a video get 6,000 views, which they just do not allow. But they quickly corrected that, and so I was a little salty last night because I figured out that they figured out. But you know what? It is what it is. It's all part of the game. So we're gonna go back to normal and come on back here on the StreamYard and do it right, so we can, they're going to play their little games. So it is what it is. Um, so on the hyperinflation thing, okay, let me just very silently in the background, gold has gone up to 2,100 an ounce. Okay. Uh, you know, 2000 is where it was, it dipped down to 1900 and floated back up. But it's now at 2,100. Okay. That's the highest out. Hit a record today. People don't know that. How many people? Who knows what the price of Bitcoin is right now? Now, I don't own any crypto. Okay, for the record, I don't own any crypto. But who knows what the price of crypto of Bitcoin is right now? a little higher than 50K. Bent Wing Brewer for the win, 68K, tied with Moonshroom, $68,000 for Bitcoin. Okay. Now, I'm not going to say yay or nay on all that stuff. I think when you conceptualize what Bitcoin is supposed to be, it's an awesome concept. My problem is that I don't trust anything, and I think that there are nefarious actors in the background that are hoping that it will get people on board with eventually what will be a CBDC or a central bank digital currency. Okay. Um, I haven't gone economic in here for a while, but they're now creating every 100 days, $1 trillion of new debt. Okay. And I think that's why people are starting to recognize the climb of prices in everything. And I think that's where it's going to go. So for those that don't know, I've been going through my prep. So when COVID hit, I went and I blew some cheese, and I bought a crap load of food, and because I wasn't sure, there's Rona, I wasn't sure, and so I thought, you know what, I'll just get this, and then eventually I'll have to roll through it. Well, now, due to some other circumstances, we're rolling through it. We're taking the preps and we're eating it and we're going through it tonight. At canned peas from our group, stuff I get. And that's the one thing I made a deal with my wife, and she reminded me, I forgot about it. We can only get canned because she doesn't like canned food, but we have to get things that she will eat. So, vegetable wise, we get yams because it comes in a syrup. We get peas because it's high caloric. We get carrots, high caloric, and we get potatoes, high caloric. And all three of those things go into a bunch of Asian meals and Indian. Tonight we made an Indian dish, and had the sauce, but we had the canned veggies and all that with chicken. So we're going through it because I have to create spot. And thanks to all the people last night, had great advice in the background talking about I've got a lot of the emergency figure, August and Farms wise, for Patriots, different groups, different stuff, but enough for us all to last. Nutrient survivals in there too. Um, but I don't want to put it up in the attic. We were talking about free spaces, and that's one of the options, but I just don't think it'll be good if we get too hot. So we're gonna switch that up. But anyway, that stuff will probably go out to the shed. The thing what I'm gonna do is take that crawl space and I'm gonna turn it into a subterranean can thing. Because the cool thing about that is not easy to access. But if this is the kind of food that, like, if I'm accessing it, this is gonna be like there's major issues in the world. Okay. And plus, I like all this because imagine something goes on and all of our stuff, it was at the bug out farm, and that's 30 minutes away to the west in West Virginia from where we are in central Maryland. So I like having all of our stuff in our location here because I feel safest at my home here. I know all of our neighbors. We live in a very rural country, a lot of food producers, a lot of Mennonites, a lot of very cohesive human beings that know everything and go over and have trail cams and talk to each other and tell each other about the coyote they saw creeping around the chickens and all that. So we're gonna do and just kind of go with it. But um, the other reason why is I want to go through the food, but also I want to be able to buy the next load of food that we get before things really do get hyperinflated. Now, I don't think it's going to happen next week. I really don't even think it's going to happen this summer. But I think after in 2025 to 2026, I think at that point, all of the debt problems are going to really start to expose themselves. Okay. So, reading this story about this $1 trillion of debt every 100 days, this is a major problem. So, 2000 to 2007, for perspective, we were in two wars. United States annual federal deficit was 220 billion per year. Okay. So, and many people at that time thought that was awful. I remember I did. I'm very anti-war because, like I tell my students, war makes rich people richer and dead people or poor people dead. So many people in the conservative, economic group said that this thing is not going to work out. It's bad. $220 billion a year is often awful. Well, now you know we're doing a trillion every 100 days. So I mean, you're talking what, five, six, seven times what we were doing. So it's just a matter of time before the wheels come off and all that. So I think people need to really kind of get right with things. I actually just took out a loan to finish our house and to put on an extra room and everything else. And people, I'm sure some people say, "Well, that's not smart. The whole thing's going to collapse down." Well, actually, I think it is smart because, well, why not tap into this right now before this whole thing does collapse down? And we've got jobs that are probably not going to be there. My wife was in medical, and she's pretty solidly employed, and I technically work for the government as a educator. So unless something crazy and crappy goes on, um, we're pretty good. And even then, like we've got contingency plans. So, but took it out, and we're building a back room on and for good as you could do. It's run the numbers, and it's going to honestly get us out of other debts too. But anyway, I'm not going to try and sell you on it. I'm sure someone in the background will be like, "You're stupid," whatever. Um, we always pay our stuff back, and so uh, we need this. We need this room bad, especially if my wife's going to continue to work here because she doesn't have any room anymore, and kids are growing and yada yada yada. So we're going for it, and I wanted to do it before because I think the banks are going to start to collapse. To be honest with you, I really do, and I figure making the house, that's a physical item. If you're going to go into hyperinflation, you want physical items. You want things that are going to um, physical items. I don't have to tell you what I'm talking about. You know what I mean. So taking our house, making it a little bit bigger, adding on a bedroom that's going to just add value and yada yada yada. And we're getting a good deal on this. So other areas and everything else, I think I just think it's coming. I mean, think about that. 220 billion a year with two wars in 15 years ago, and now we do a trillion every 4 months, roughly. Okay, so that's going to make things get more expensive by the day, and you're going to start to see it flesh out. Now, my wife and I are also trying this experiment where, as we're going through these preps, we're also trying to only spend $100 a week on food. Family of five, growing girls, 12 and 10, and then a growing boy who's almost 6. Okay. Um, there's a lot. It's $100 doesn't go far. Talking to my parents, they were moved to Virginia. They're in Ohio, and we moved them out this way. So now they're only a couple hours away. But so when they moved, they were getting food. Just two of them, about $75 a week for the two of them. Okay, and they get good stuff. They get fruits, veggies, usual fare. They say now it's about 120 to 140, depending. Yeah. So it's coming, folks. I really think that we're on that timeline now. Okay. I mean, if you go from where do we go from 220 to 1 trillion, so we'll say 365, we'll say 3 trillion on the year. Okay. So 220, that's 1/15. So where we're going to be in 3 years if what we're doing right now triples, and we're doing 2 to 3 trillion every 100 days. That's what's coming. Okay. The other thing is, like they say, when they start to run out of the debt Ponzi scheme, and that's they call it, they take you to war. So I'm a firm believer. If you've watched any of my crisis reports, I'm a firm believer that we are going into the Third World War. Okay, I have called different things, different benchmarks, different times along the way that I think that we're going to really start to potentially see it happen. And last year I said around fall, I think I think Ukraine's going to start to crumble, and NATO's going to have to step in. Well, I was off by about 6 months because NATO is starting to step in and talk about all that. They're already basically there, and Ukraine is crumbling. When you have to go in and conscript 50-year-olds and women, your army is done. Okay, that's what Germany started to do at the end. 50-year-olds getting conscript letters. No, you're not going to win anything at that point. You're basically over. You're just holding on for dear life at that point. So, um, you will see that war come. You will see that whole thing go on over there. I think they're getting set up for it. Guy came out tonight, the MOD, and said of Germany, said they need to get the economy on, or one of them said they need to get the economy of the Europe onto a war footing. So you're going to start to see that rhetoric here in America as well. I'm pretty darn sure of it. So military industrial complex, the military industrial corporate complex really needs that money. So trillion every 100 days is a death wish, folks. So the November elections are coming, and um, I'm in the camp that we're too far gone. I know some people hope and pray that we can somehow get it back, and I do hope I'm wrong. I hope that you know things go the way they are predicting them to go currently. Terrible polling came out for Mr. Joe today because he's just not really liked, and people they're not on board. I don't think I was telling this to my dad. I don't think the people that are on Joe's team that are running the show right now, I don't think they really have an understanding just how many people still really do love this country. You know, I don't know about you, but I mean, I love America. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I've been able to see other countries. I've seen Belize, and I've seen, Canada. I've seen Thailand. I've seen Ireland, England, Vietnam, all these places, Iceland, and they're nice. There's some cool features to them, but I wouldn't trade living in any of them over America for anything in the world. And the reason why is because, when you get down to that base level, America and the principles that were brought up on and everything, the Constitution, when it's done the way it's supposed to be done, it's literally as good as you're going to get. I don't want to say perfect because nothing's perfect, but for human beings, it's about as good as it's going to get. So, that's where we are. That's where we are. So, hyperinflation, what does it look like? Hyperinflation is what Turkey's going through right now. Okay, they just came out and had a print of their inflation. Their inflation was 61%. I'm not sure if that was month over month or year over year. It doesn't matter. 61% inflation. Now, what does that mean? That means that you get a loaf of bread, other groceries for $100. Next time you go back, it's $160. That's a pretty darn good jump. That's not playing around. That's a pretty darn good jump. So, uh, not outside the realm, and I'm starting to see it too. I don't know what you've seen. The thing that I noticed the other day, because I do this shopping, was grapes. How much are grapes? Okay, I want to know. We shop at Aldi, and they had the $2.99 grapes that were out, but then they had the higher end and the organic. Okay, and you don't even get as many of them. And one was $6.72. The other was $6.92. So think about that. $7 for a bushel of grapes. You know, my kids can roll through a thing of grapes through the first quarter of any sporting event. They will knock them out. So I don't know what you guys are seeing on your end, but what foods do you see kind of going and hyperextending into the hyperinflationary? Grapes are what I see. I also see fruits and veggies for the most part. Bananas are all over the place. Some places you can get them for 39, 49 cents. You know, a bushel or a pack. Some places it's much more than that. So strawberries, same thing. Strawberries are all over the place. Sometimes you can get a nice fat pack of them for $3. Sometimes you get a nice fat pack. You're lucky to get under $7. So I think it just kind of depends on stuff. So meat, yeah, meat's a problem too. Um, I got a bunch of boneless thigh meat, and it was good. We made Indian with it tonight, and that was $2 a pound. That's the best I've seen in quite some time. They're finally getting down back on the organic beef at Sam's down to the $4.99. But all that stuff is neither here nor there. There are people that are going to be priced out of beef, folks. There's going to be people that are not going to be able to even put beef on their shopping list, and they're going to have to go to other alternative stuff. You're going to have to go to your cheap chicken or big old things of pork. We had a meat service and I had one more order, and that order was like you have to do mandatory orders through them, and then after that you can kind of do it whenever you want. And so I had one more mandatory order, and I just packed it out with a bunch of roasts because I can chop up that meat pretty darn good and use it for all kinds of stuff. So, um, lab meat says these aren't the droids you're looking for. That's what I mean. Well, all right, let's get into the doom. I mean, that's what they're doing. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what is going on here, folks. I mean, this is to build back better. You have to deconstruct everything. You have to destroy it. Okay, you have to break it so it can't be fixed, and that's what these people are doing. They're breaking things so they cannot be fixed. And why? Well, they want to build things up in their own, image. They want to be able to buy stuff for pennies on the dollar. They want to be able to, build back better, and they're the owners. They're the rentier, well, not the rentier class. They're the owner class, and we're the little plebes down there on the countryside working on little plots of land. So that's what they're hoping for, and they're probably going to get it. That's the problem. People I feel sorry for, folks, are the people that have no clue what's going on. I was tonight we had stuff to do with my daughter, and so I'm just kind of sitting there doing my thing, and I'm just looking at all these people, and we were right by a liquor store, and you see these people go in with these like just 1,000-yard stares. These lifeless human beings going into the store, the liquor store, coming out with a big old bottle of Kahlua, a big old bottle of whatever, right? and they've got that kind of smile on their face, like they're going to try and get it done. Same time, and I could be wrong. Maybe maybe they got that bottle of Kahlua because they've got family deal coming up. Whatever, you use your imagination. But that lifeless look, you can tell who the hardcore people were. People who go in, uh, you know, quicker out of the door than the quicker into the door, right? Because they're going into the door, they've only got $6. They got to maximize that sucker. When they go rolling out, they've made their selection and they're moving, they're grooving. They're going out to get home and to do it. You know, those are the people that are going to get hurt. Those are the people that are going to be knee deep in this disaster and they're going to have no clue what to do. There's going to be people that are going to lose everything, and it could be me, who knows? I don't think it'll do it. I've got some backstops, but a couple job losses, a sickness, it doesn't take much. Does not take much. That kind of stuff is coming. Those kind of issues for people are coming. It's gonna be sad for those people that are working the 2 and 3 jobs, because I did that, and they lose 1 or 2 of them, and all of a sudden they're in that spin the wheels mode where they have to make decisions. Am I going to go out with car insurance? Am I going to go out with no water this month, or no whatever insurance, no whatever. You get the point. We're getting to that point, folks. We're getting to a time when there's not going to be a lot people can do, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And you're going to see people you love have a lot of major issues, lose jobs and all that. That's why it's important to prep for other people. Because at least if anything, they come over, you say, well, I can't do much for you, but I can feed you. You know. So $1 trillion of debt every 100 days created and put into the system for us. It's going to be sad because at some point people are going to go back and they're going to think of these days as the halcyon days of yore, when everything was put together and fine and everybody was just you know okay. And the other thing is that there's an invisible group of people out there that really have already kind of suffered and succumbed to this, and they're dropping out. They're doing things to take them out. Whatever you want, use your imagination. But they are not with us anymore. And you know, especially now that the state is offering free ability to help you with that endeavor. Terrible. It's like capitalizing human misery. So I have no solutions. I mean, there's things you can do, folks. There's things you can do, and I'm not going to put them here. I'm not a financial uh, analyst or whatever, but the things that are going to happen. Physical items are going to maintain; they're in good shape. Tools will maintain if it's in a good shape. A good truck will maintain if it's going to stay in good shape. Your skills, being able to tinker, is going to help you. Your ability to create and do manual labor and side jobs, go over and clear out a neighbor's yard or whatever, that kind of thing. That's the kind of stuff that's going to separate people. And as all this goes down, there's going to be people that are going to be looking for help, and they're going to be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. Put that hand out and help them up. But we're going into it, man. The hyperinflation, everything else. I really don't think it's that far away. So hopefully you all are putting it together, and you're doing what you can to make it so when these hard times come, And I think everybody in this stream feels it. You'll be able to at least deal with it on some level. You know, whether that's burying your money out in mattresses or out back in a can or who knows, whatever it may be. But the future doesn't look so good. Looks hyperinflationary. And so I hope you're doing things to mitigate that, whatever that may be. All right, friends, I just want to kind of climb on, tell you about the new style and the new everything, which is a new style, just kind of rolling with board. So I appreciate you. Please hit the like button. Basically, the numbers you see on the screen are complete and total screwy. They're not real. So by you engaging and hitting the button, it does help. Okay, just know that. So I appreciate you doing that. And yeah, go forth, get your houses in order, get everything ready. I think we're down to the point where I can securely and safely say, I think it's a matter of months at this point. I don't think it's weeks or years. I don't think it's decades. I think it's a matter of months now before it all goes just to you know where. All right, friends. God bless. Stack, stack. Stick to the plan. Keep your head in the swivel and your powder dry. And I appreciate you coming by, Prepper Now. Be proactive. Do the things. Get her done. God bless.